Hi Instagram and hi Gut Health Recovery Group. Still says live video is starting, so I might wait a second. Facebook, a bit behind the eight ball. Hello Gut Health Group and hi Instagram. How's everyone going today? If I start coughing, bear with me. We are home with COVID at the moment. I feel fine, except for this cough. So what I thought I'd do today, excuse me, I posted a story about cauliflower bites. So I might go through the process how I actually make them, like a live kind of recipe explanation, and see if people like that, because if that's the preferred way of going through recipes, I'm more than happy to do that. And the other thing I was going to do is I've spoken a lot over the last couple of weeks about the sorts of rices and alternatives and things to use. So I was going to actually show you the packets of things so people can have a visual, because I had a client this week over Zoom who wanted visuals, and if she saw the packaging, then she would remember more what she was going to have, or what we were talking about. So I'm going to go through those visuals today and actually show you the sorts of things that I've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. So this one here, brown rice. So, can we see that? Dungara, low GI, brown rice. So what I really love, oh god, my fingernails need fixing. What I really love about this one is that while regular brown rice isn't always low GI, this is the Dungara type of rice, which even the white rice version of this is also low GI. I like brown rice though because it has extra fibre, and I personally prefer the flavour. So I cook this one, a cup of this with 2 cups of water on the stove for 25 minutes. So you bring it to the boil, then lower it to a simmer, put the lid on and cook it for 25 minutes, and it's perfect. I also, once it's hot, I take it out, put it into, let it cool slightly. It's not boiling hot. If you're not going to eat it all at that time, I put it straight into the snap lock bags and then put it straight in the freezer. So then you've got your own version of quick cook rice. So that is one of the hacks that I use for cooking rice, because brown rice does take a while to cook. And I have burnt it multiple times in the microwave, so I much prefer to do it on the stove top now. Make sure you rinse it first. So I always rinse it for about a couple of minutes anyway first to get any of the impurities off. The other thing I've been talking about lots, and I've had so many comments on this too, is buckwheat. So this is the one I've got in the pantry at the moment. It was the only one I could find at Woolies. It says activated, but it doesn't have to be activated. That's just, I don't know, how they make it, how they market it. They probably have done something to it, but it doesn't actually change the nutritional quality. It's still going to be a really good quality product. If it says buckwheat on the packaging, that's fine. So same thing again, rinse it. You don't really need to rinse it for that long like rice. I find it takes about the same amount of time to cook as regular white rice. So we've got long grain white rice here, and I have that there for just anything random. So sometimes I'll throw a handful of that into soup. If I run out of brown rice, I do half this and half this. Rinse it, definitely rinsing this, and then putting that into the pot. To be honest, I just look at the cooking instructions on the back for this one. So yeah, still 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. So, and I also do the same ratios for this. So half a cup of each and 2 cups of water, bring to the boil, and then reduce to simmer for about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, depending on what you need. But the buckwheat is usually cooked in the same time as the rice. Then I have some other little fancy things here. Oh, now I'm not sure if I actually spoke. I think someone was on last week and they asked a question about soba noodles. Is anyone on today? So these ones are the noodles that I was talking about. So if you've ever seen this packet in the supermarket before, it's not chopsticks like I used to think it was. They are literally just, hey Sarah, this one's for you. They're literally just noodles. So, camera on my computer isn't great. I'm trying to get it as clear as possible. So they come in little packets like this. And if I was to cook them, they come in, I don't know if you can see that, they're little, I've got a little band around them. I would probably use that much for probably nearly all 4 of us. So the recipe, the packaging on the back probably says that there's 3 serves per package. Yep. So packaging suggests that that is for 1 person, but that is way too much. That's 60. I would say that that's 2 serves of. That's like equivalent to a half of your plate in terms of energy content. So half of that would be a decent size serve. If you're having veggies plus meat and then looking for a carb portion, I would do half of that. If you're wanting something just a little bit to mop up any sort of stir fry things, then I would do a quarter of that and split that between 3 or 4 people. These cook really quick, so they're ready in 3 minutes, and they are regular wheat flour plus buckwheat flour plus water and a little bit of salt. Quite a lot of salt, actually. But again, if you're not having a lot of them and you're not having the full 90-gram serve that it says, then it's going to be in moderation. So literally just put them in boiling water and leave it in there for 4 minutes, and that's it. Take it out, drain it, and they're done. It's like the healthy version of 2-minute noodles. The next thing, has anybody seen this? Freekeh. So this is another version of, it's like whole durum wheat, but really minimal processing. So really high in fiber, and it tastes kind of like a grainy texture like brown rice, but it's from a whole, it hasn't been processed. So you can see on there it says packed with protein, fiber, and other health benefits, and it's extremely low GI. So this is a good thing. You know where you've used in the past, you might have used barley. You can put that into soups. There's some really yummy salads. I think I've got an old recipe in the group on, it's a salmon and freekeh roast vegetable dish. That's really delicious. So I'll actually repost that so that you can see what to use this for. Also goes really well if you're making something like tabbouleh. So tabbouleh often calls for cracked wheat. This one goes really well. This is, excuse me, again, same thing, but needs a little bit more water than what rice does. 1 cup of this to 3 cups of water or stock. And then we'll take about 15 to 20 minutes with the lid on once it's already boiling. That's probably, I haven't even opened this one. It's been in the pantry for a while. Not safe for people with celiac disease because it is a source of gluten, obviously, because it's come from wheat. But for other people, it's still high in fiber and it's still going to have those good benefits as a prebiotic as well. This one was so cool, I had to buy it. I found this at the Preston Market. Now, I'm actually not sure on the GI of this. Because the reason I say that is because it doesn't tell me if it's long or short grain. Actually, here we go. On the back of the packet, I should have read this before I did the live. It is low GI, so it has a rating of 42, which is amazing. So I've used this one in making a black rice coconut pudding for breakfast. I don't know if anybody's seen the Forbidden Foods, same company, make a pre-cooked rice sachet, which is a black coconut rice, and it's marketed as a breakfast, like, creamed rice. I've made this from scratch into a brekkie. It's delicious. That's the only thing I've used it for, but again, and it's got that kind of nutty texture and flavour that brown rice has as well. But it goes really well with stir fries, like wherever else you would have rice. Here I could compare the fibre. So white rice compared to black rice. The fibre content per 100 grams in white rice or long grain rice is 0.8 grams, so less than 1%. The fibre in this one is 2.8, so there's triple the amount of fibre. It's still not a very high fibre food, but if you're going to choose something, particularly to make rice pudding with, this would be better than this. And this works really well. It goes creamy like other rice does. Arborio rice, which is what you make risotto out of. I actually don't have any. I do have sushi rice. Sushi rice and arborio rice are both high GI. So this would be a good substitute to make both of those in, because it ends up the same kind of texture as as the arborio, or like a risotto style, or a paella. This would be really cool in paella actually, because it'd be a cool colour. And sushi, you could even try if you're into making sushi, which that's kind of a fun thing that we like to do here too. That would be another good substitute to try for sushi as well, because it is lower GI than regular white rice. I think that's everything. Oh, this as well. So I have a family member who is celiac and therefore can't have oats. This is what I keep in the pantry for her when she comes over, so that she can have oats or porridge. I've also made granola out of this particular one. So it's organic quinoa. Oh, it doesn't have to be organic, but it's quinoa flakes. I know it's a bit hard to see that. It's a bit of a reflection. Now, quinoa flakes, funny texture. I don't know if anyone's ever seen quinoa. They're like little seeds. This is more like a flat grain. Got that all over my keyboard. So again, really high in fibre, 7 grams per 100 gram, which is great. Anything above 5 grams for a breakfast cereal or any sort of grain is a good high fibre source. And safe for people with celiac disease, safe for people who are sensitive to, bye Sarah, safe for people who are sensitive to gluten and wheat, and high in protein, high in fibre. So that's a really, really good one as well. Keep it, if you do have somebody that is celiac though, keep it separate from all your wheat-based products. So I have a completely separate container that I keep all those things in for when my family member comes over, that I know that they've been completely safe from gluten kitchen. All right, so the final thing, the last thing I was going to go through was how I make those cauliflower bites. So basically, whenever we're having anything with cauliflower, I buy a whole head of cauliflower, and whatever's left, I chop it into little bite-sized florets, throw it into a microwave container, and then stick it in the microwave and let it sort of nearly all the way cook. I just hit vegetables on the microwave thing, and let it cook. I either put it back in the fridge or work with it once it's been cooked hot. And then I make a batter out of wholemeal flour, plain wholemeal flour, and soda water. So I just keep mixing it until it gets like a batter consistency. I don't know what the soda water does, but it seems to like bubble up and fluff up and make it, I don't know. Well, I saw it on another recipe once and it worked really well as like a batter. So I drop it into that so it's coated nicely. And then I have a mixture of breadcrumbs. So and they're always a wholemeal breadcrumb with, today I think I put onion powder, garlic powder, pepper. Normally I'd put parmesan, but I don't have any of that. And I said pepper already. And a bit of parsley. And then I just pick up the cauliflower piece with a spoon and drop it into the bowl of breadcrumbs and crumb it like that. And then just fill a saucepan with probably about that much, probably about 1 centimetre of olive oil. Yes, you can fry in olive oil. Turns out really well. And we've just lost Instagram. That must cut off for a while. So I just fry it off in olive oil until they're lightly browned. Then at the end of it, put them on some baking paper paper towel to soak up all the excess oil. And then I put that, whatever we don't eat at that point, we put into on a tray in the freezer, and freeze it, and then reheat it in the air fryer or the oven so it's nice and crispy. And they are delicious. If you've ever seen the cauliflower bites from Woolies. They come in, they're the smallest packet. It's a 200-gram bag. And I think it costs $7 or something for 200 grams of cauliflower florets. I've just made that. I've made probably at least 500 grams today. And it's easy and it's done and it's a really good snack. Tastes delicious and I love it with a little bit of hummus or some spicy dip as well. You can put whatever you want into the breadcrumbs. So if you like chili, any sort of flavors in there. You could make Moroccan ones with Moroccan seasoning. And they just taste really well. And because the cauliflower's already been cooked in the microwave, it's still soft enough. So you're really just putting it into the fry pan to brown it off a little bit. You could even spray it with olive oil and bake it in the oven from like that if you didn't want to do the shallow frying in the oven as well. But it is olive oil, so it's going to absorb all those good fats from the olive oil anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. All right, thanks everyone for joining. Happy Friday, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to yell out early in the week if you've got any questions that you'd like answered. If you're enjoying the food comparisons and understanding what other grains and other foods that are available that you might like to try yourself, let me know, and I'm happy to continue going along this path with the Q&As as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.